Worst dates that I've had on Bumble. Part 1. So I talked to this guy for like a week or two before we actually went out because I was out of town. And so I thought that he was pretty cool. I talked to him while I was out of town. And so I said, hey, like when I get back, the airport is actually really close to where you live. So we can just meet up somewhere and go for like drinks or dinner or something. And he was like, okay, that sounds cool. And I really didn't sense any red flags up until this point. I let him know before I even board the plane, like, hey, just to let you know, like, I'm not gonna be wearing anything fancy. I'm coming straight from my flight to go and meet with you, so like you're gonna get what you're gonna get. I'm wearing like leggings and it was like a crop sweatshirt, and he was like, oh no, it's no big deal. I'm not gonna get all dressed up or anything either. And I was like, okay, cool. My flight landed. I texted him and let him know, like, hey, I'll be able to meet up with you around 3:30. I just have to get my bag. I park and let him know that I was at the restaurant, and he said that he had to park a few blocks away, so he was gonna be a couple minutes. And I was like, that's totally fine. I'm just like in my car listening to some T-Swift, like we're good. A guy comes up to my window and starts knocking on it a few minutes later, and I look over and I think it's him, but he's literally almost unrecognizable. I was like, oh my god, that's my date. Literally also probably 4 to 6 inches shorter than he told me that he was. And the problem with that isn't that he's shorter than me or that he's not tall, it's that he lied about it. I get out of the car and I introduce myself, and he looks at me up and down and he goes, interesting. I was like, me interesting? You're a whole 6 inches shorter than you said that you were. We proceed into the restaurant and we sit down at a booth, and he sits on the same side of the booth as me, which I guess that's not that big of a deal, but it's weird and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I knew that this wasn't going to be like a good date, and he is not the one for show. And he insists on ordering like all of my stuff for me. He's like, oh, what are you gonna get? Because I'll just order it. And I was like, you don't have to do that. He's like, no, really. And I'm like, I don't know if you think that this is like cute, but it's not. So I excuse myself to the bathroom and go to call my best friend so that I can tell her about how horrible this is going and we can at least laugh about it. And when I come back, I had the bright idea to sit on my own side of the booth. And I guess that made him really mad and really uncomfortable. And so he's like, oh, I see how it is. And I was like, oh, I thought that it would just be better for conversation if I sat on this side. And he just looked at me like, the whole situation made me really uncomfortable, and I just wanted to get the heck out of there. So the next time the waitress came over, I just asked for my check, and he looked at me like he thought that the date was going amazing or something, and he was really confused, and he goes, well, I guess I need my check too.
I'm just reminiscing on the time that a guy from Bumble asked me if I wanted to go get food with him, and I said yes, and he came and picked me up and took me back to his apartment, and I said, oh, what are we doing at your apartment? And he said, I have food here. And I said, well, isn't that convenient for you? And he went to the fridge and he opened it and took out his meal prep for the week, which was a Tupperware with chicken and rice and broccoli in it. And then he opened his drawer and he said, I only have 1 fork right now. Is it okay if we share? And so we sat on the edge of his bed and watched Big Mouth and took turns with the fork, eating his chicken and broccoli.
I'm about to head home right now from what I thought was going to be a date. I've been talking to this dude on Bumble, and we had agreed to meet at this like little local cafe, coffee shop, whatever, and tonight. And I was texting him saying that I was going to be a little late, and the messages wouldn't deliver. They had sent his text message. I have iPhone, he has iPhone as well, and it's usually iMessage. And I'm just like, whatever, I'm already on my way. And so I get here to the coffee shop and I go in, there's no one around. I call him, go straight to voicemail, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I being stood up? I check Bumble and I message him and I'm like, are you standing me up right now? And he immediately unmatches me. I'm so fucking frustrated right now. I'm shaking. Why do men? Like, why do they do this?
Men truly have nothing but the audacity. So I had a coffee date planned this morning with this guy I met on Bumble. Been chatting for like a week on the app. We hadn't exchanged numbers yet. He messaged me last night and he was like, shouldn't you be in bed? Like, you have a date tomorrow. So I jokingly said, oh, I have a few dates tomorrow, with like a winky face and a ha-ha. And he responded, well, have fun on them, because I just canceled mine with like a smiley face. So I thought, oh, witty banter, haha. And then I said, haha, very funny. Takes 20 minutes, he still hasn't responded. So then I said, that was a joke, by the way, in case it didn't land. Well, it was late, so I wasn't really expecting a reply. I wake up this morning, start getting ready. I'm checking the app every like 15 minutes. He still hasn't responded. So I was like, okay, I'll message him by 10 o'clock to confirm plans if I haven't heard from him. Tell me why I get on the app at 9:55. I see his name on the screen, but then it flies off. This man unmatched me. How insecure do you have to be that you're so butthurt about the possibility of a girl you met on a dating app going on other dates?
It was dating story time, and the light's good in my apartment right now, so I'm just gonna tell it. Recently, I found out I was the other woman in a situation, and I had no idea. This is a girl power story. Like, me and the girl are cool with each other now. So I met this dude on Tinder, right? He immediately starts love bombing me, but I have low self-esteem, so I go for it. He called me a Disney princess, all of this stuff. I was like, okay, cool. We decide to take things slow, but we delete the apps, and he says we are exclusively dating. In the middle of love bombing me, this man tells me that he loves me, tells me I'm the one, all of those things, right? Even makes a joke about what our kids' names are gonna be, and I laugh it all off because I'm dumb. Things start to get fishy around week 2. He doesn't text me as much. He doesn't call me as much. He's really busy with work, which I completely understand, man. I don't expect you to be on your phone while you're at work, but things get weirder and weirder. But every weekend, he still drives about an hour here, spends the entire weekend with me. Everything is great, and I'm crazy, right? One night we play phone tag, we exchange some text, we keep missing each other, and we're like, you know what, we'll call tomorrow and we'll make a plan for the morning, right? Well, the text I got the next morning was that he'd actually been seeing his ex-girlfriend the entire time behind my back, and they were still in love. And in fact, she had actually stayed the night with him that night while we were texting and while we were calling each other. This had only been going on for about a month and a half, so it was very easy to be like, okay, this is super weird, and you're kind of an asshole for playing both of us, but all right, let's move on. Then I get a text from him that they broke up because she's crazy, right? Then I get a DM from her that's like, I just want to warn you. Her and I talk, and she's the coolest fucking person on the planet. I apologize. She apologizes. Neither of us had anything to apologize for because we didn't know. He's very tricky and very sneaky and very charming. In fact, we make a joke about going to get drinks together. I'm telling you all this story for this reason. The girl's cool as fuck. We communicated with each other. We believed each other that we didn't know about the other person. I certainly didn't know about her. And I know for a fact she didn't know about me. All of this led me to find out that there are Facebook groups that are like, are we dating the same guy in whatever city? I urge you to join those groups if you're dating at all in any city. There's a Los Angeles one, and the girls in there are so fucking cool. Okay, there's your advice for the day. Love you, bye.
I've never been on a date, and I have one today. Let's get ready, because I'm so scared. Gotta put my SPF on, since it's like a daytime date, in literally like an hour. I know my mom's gonna see this and be like, Haley getting ready at the very last minute and then trying to catch the train to be on time. Some things never change when you move. You're telling me that the 19 years I've been on this earth, I've never been asked on a date, but then the second week I move here, I get asked on one? This man saw me on Bumble and was like, no, that's not enough. Let me slide into her Insta DMs instead. I mean, I'll give it to him. The men here do have nerve. This day better be worth it too, because that's a 35-minute train ride. And before y'all hit me with the, in a pandemic, you can responsibly and safely hang out with somebody now at this point. I don't even know what to wear. Like, I just kind of like threw this on. I know that this is blue, but blue jeans just don't look good at the top. I think this jacket kills the vibe. I don't know. Let me do brown. Okay, brown jacket looked 100 times worse. Zara boots. Don't forget your masks. Bye, bestie.